I am hurt. My best friend didn't stand up for me when someone in our friend group uninvited me from a girls' trip the night before. Am I expecting too much from my best friend? Hi everyone, I have a friend group from college and we all still hang out every couple of months. My best friend, let's call her A, and I hang out almost every weekend and are very close. She is also good friends with another girl in our group, let's call her B. B and I are not super close, but I always thought we were friendly. I know in girlfriend groups, it's normal not to be super close with everyone, and that's okay. I always tried to be her friend and treat her the same as the other girls. A few months ago, our group was having a picnic and discussing a group trip. B suggested that her family had a cabin upstate and that we should all go for a weekend. Everyone agreed, and we set the date for this past weekend. Everything was great and normal these past weeks, with us all texting in a group chat about packing, movies to watch, and other preparations. The night before we were supposed to leave, B texted me saying she felt like we weren't close friends and didn't want us to be fake with each other, so it was best if I didn't join them. I was shocked, but I tried to be understanding and replied that I liked her, enjoyed our hangouts, and didn't act fake. I told her it was okay for the group to go without me, and that if I had done anything to hurt her, I was sorry and open to discussing it. This really hurt me, and I was in shock, trying to figure out what I had done wrong. I texted my best friend A, who was attending the trip, to let her know I was uninvited. Her first reaction was that it was no big deal since B and I weren't close anyway. She also said she hoped I didn't expect her to get involved, as it might affect her mental health. I tried to be understanding and told her it was okay not to get involved. After spending a day crying and feeling awful, I realized that it was really a mean thing B did, and I was also hurt by A's lack of support. I didn't expect her not to go on the trip, but I hoped she would acknowledge that what B did was mean. I just wanted her support and hoped she would stand up for me during the trip. When I let A know that her lack of support was hurtful, she felt it was solely between B and me and didn't want to get involved. She also said it would harm her independent friendship with B. Do you think it's wrong or too much to expect my best friend to stand up for me when a mutual friend uninvited me last minute? I'm not asking her to pick a side, but it feels like she's okay with B essentially bullying me. It's fine if she wants to be friends with B, but I think you should have the courage to stand up to bullying. I greatly appreciate your insights. Thank you. Edit. Thank you all for your comments. I really appreciate your insights. I agree that friends should, in principle, stick up for each other, but that's not always reality. I'm okay with not being friends with this group anymore. Friends change a lot in your 20s. Some stay, some go. I spoke to my best friend A, and she's firm that she shouldn't get in the way and that it's not her place to say anything. She also mentioned that I shouldn't be upset because B and I were never close, and I've criticized B behind her back. Maybe she's right. I shouldn't talk about someone negatively, but I'm not perfect. I think there's a difference between private criticism and a direct offense. Edit 2. I texted B to let her know her actions were mean-spirited and unkind, and I'm okay not being friends. I left our group chat. I spoke to A and we agreed to take some time apart and speak in person about this next week. Edit 3. Here's a final update. I spoke to A on the phone and we just don't see eye to eye. She acknowledges I'm hurt but believes it was B's choice. The discussion went in circles, so I decided to put the issue to rest. While I feel my request was valid, A is not the person to support me in that way. A and I remain friends, but I'll be mindful of this in the future. I have other friends who will stand up for me, and I appreciate them more now. Thank you to everyone for your encouraging words and for helping me see different perspectives. Edit 4. Here's the true final update. It turns out the issue was about a man. Welcome to the relationship advice community. Please ensure you read our rules. We want to remind users that we do not allow any type of "am I the a-hole" content or situations involving minors. We also do not permit users to privately message others based on their posts here. Users found engaging in this conduct will be banned. We highly encourage the original poster to disable private messaging in their settings. Any form of name-calling or insults will result in the comment being removed and the user being banned. All advice given must be good, ethical advice. Joke advice, conspiratorial advice, or advice that is just plain terrible will be removed and users may be subject to a ban. We do not allow referencing hateful subreddits or their rhetoric, including but not limited to terms like alpha beta, referring to people as friend-zoned, or calling individuals Chads, Tyrones, or Stacys. Any infraction of this rule will result in a ban, and this is not an all-inclusive list. All bans in this subreddit are permanent. You don't get a free pass. Anyone found directly messaging users for any reason whatsoever will be banned. We cannot give advice on rants, unsolicited advice, medical conditions, mental illness, letters to an ex, body counts, or number of sexual partners, legal problems, financial problems, situations involving minors, or any form of abuse. All these will be removed and locked. This is not an all-inclusive list. If you have any questions, please message the moderators. This is an automatic comment that appears on all posts. This does not necessarily mean your post violates any rules. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. You're wrong. A did pick a side, it just wasn't yours. Yeah, because the original poster doesn't own a cabin. A loves those benefits. Very last-minute change in plans. I don't think your friend is a good friend or as innocent as she makes herself out to be. Someone must have recently said something to B, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was A, even in passing or jokingly. Yes, it's odd for her to make that point about the original poster's private criticism of B. It almost seems like someone might have accidentally, or perhaps intentionally, broken the original poster's confidence and shared those remarks. I'm thinking A doesn't want to get involved because she's the one who stirred up trouble. If the original poster and B never have a proper conversation to resolve it, A never gets called out for starting the drama and gossiping. This was exactly my thought too, and I commented basically the same thing. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought this. Time for new friends. A is supposedly your best friend, but did what benefits her most. You should consider leaving this friend group. She said she has an independent friendship with B, and that her getting involved will make things worse. Really? Worse for whom? Her? If none of the girls acknowledge how weird this is after they hear what happened, then you should probably cut your losses with all of them, because that is strange behavior that would show they are all fine with making you feel singled out. Your best friend is no friend at all. B seems to have some secret issue with you that I'm curious about. Let us know if you ever figure out what that is. I have a friend group with one girl that I was not close to at all, and frankly didn't like very much. She was close to one of the other girls, and that was it. When we were all together, she invited me to events, and I invited her because that was just polite. We hate each other with a passion now, but before we ever exchanged harsh words, we never pulled any of this nasty behavior. A is not your friend. She is being selfish and did not stand up for you to a mean girl. I would invest in finding other friends. These two are not good friends. I guarantee you that these two girls talk negatively about you behind your back. It's best to take a step back from the whole group and invest your time and effort into other friendships. I have a feeling that A told B what you said behind her back, and it is likely the reason you were uninvited. She definitely took a side, B's. I'm sorry. I know this is painful, but both these women have given you a gift, and that gift is clarity and the awareness of where you stand with them. Life is too short to give your precious energy to people who do not support and love you. That is wasted energy. Focus on yourself, give yourself a fun and nourishing weekend, and then focus on loving and supporting yourself. Attract friends who also love and support you. A is not on your best friend. What B did was really unpleasant. A is okay with B being an unpleasant person, so that makes her unpleasant too. If this were my best friend being excluded, I would not go on the trip. Not because I think people should be forced to be friends, but because she invited you and then turned around and disinvited you at the last minute, which is rude. Even if I disliked a person, I would never take back my invitation unless they did something truly awful. I would tolerate it this time and not invite them next time. Honey, none of these people are your friends. B wants you out of the group, and I'm sure she's been engaging in a passive-aggressive smear campaign for ages. A is not a real friend to you. Any conflict between B and yourself is clearly one-sided. Get out of there. Don't talk to them anymore, any of them. Don't pour your heart out. They've made their choices, and it's not you. It's time to find new friends. You know, the kind that reciprocate. Because these people are not it. I can almost guarantee you that your so-called best friend talks negatively about you to the other girl and even told her the things you said about her. That's likely why you were disinvited, and your so-called best friend couldn't care less. Girl, you need new friends. These are not it. B isn't bullying you, she just didn't want to host you at her cabin. It wasn't great to uninvite you the night before, but it could mean she was conflicted about excluding you and hesitated to make the decision. A is right not to get in the middle of this because it's not her cabin, and she probably doesn't understand why there's a problem between you and B. However, she could have been a bit more sympathetic and suggested a different activity for the two of you to do separately. You need to know why B thinks you don't like her. Have you left her out of things before? Could you be giving off odd vibes without really meaning to? Do you find her annoying, or do you have significant differences in personality or interests? She spread negative comments, and the host found out. She's overly dependent on her boyfriend and not very funny. I would have done the same thing if it were my cabin.